Now we'll start with task 2 essays. You could get any of these 5 kind of essays. One is opinion essay, balanced approach, outweigh problems and solutions, and causes and effects. Don't get too overwhelmed by these terms. These are just some terminology given by coaches and trainers to simplify explanations of these essays. The first kind of essay that you can expect is an opinion essay. It is also called a one-sided essay. The latter part of the question would be something like, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Do you agree with the statement? To what extent do you disagree with the statement? To what extent is this a positive development or a negative development? Do you think it's a good sign or a bad sign? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? You will write entirely on one side. You will not move on to the other side of the argument. Obviously, this is going to be tougher compared to a balanced approach essay. Have a look at this question. The most important aim of science should be to improve people's lives. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. You see these underlined statements. These are standard statements that will be asked you across all essays. So it's a clear instruction that you have to also give reasons for your answer and include at least one example in the entire essay. An important point to note is that beforehand you will have to understand whether you are going to take the side of the advantages or disadvantages. So if you're writing on advantages, entirely write on advantages. If you're talking of the disadvantages, that it's not a good sign, you write entirely on the negative aspect of the essay. It's a misnomer that you shouldn't be negative. Depending on the topic, if you are able to validate your explanations, you can write on the other side of the argument too. The second kind of essay that you can expect is a balanced approach essay, also called a discussion essay. It's relatively easier because you're going to write on both sides nearly equally. The latter part of the question would be something like discuss both views and give your opinion. But you could also be asked something like what are the advantages and disadvantages? What are the pros and cons? What are the benefits and drawbacks? Or what are the upsides and downsides? You write on both sides. Some university students want to learn more about other subjects in addition to their main subject. Others believe it is more important to give all the time and attention to studying for a qualification. Discuss both views and give your viewpoint. In this essay, you're clearly going to mention both sides. So beforehand, you will decide why students want to learn more about other subjects and also why some other students want to focus on getting a qualification only. And then you will give your viewpoint with one reason why you're endorsing a particular group. The third kind of essay that you can expect is an outweigh question. Here, the latter part of the question would be something like, do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Or do you think the disadvantages outweigh the advantages? In such a case, the first thought that strikes your head, you will be endorsing that side. So that paragraph will be bigger than the other paragraph. You can maintain a 3:2 or a 4:1 ratio. So 4 points on one and 1 point on the other, or 3 points on one and 2 points on the other. You can write advantages first and then the disadvantages, or the disadvantages first and then the advantages. That doesn't make any difference. Have a look at this question. In many countries, people are now living longer than before. Some say an aging population creates problems for governments. Other people think that there are benefits if society has more elderly people. To what extent do the advantages of having an aging population outweigh the disadvantages? And then you can also get one of the other 2 kinds of essays. One is problems and solutions and the other is causes and effects. It's very similar. Problems and solutions is you have to enumerate the problems and give remedies or some steps that we can take to mitigate the problem. And causes and effects is you're going to explain the reasons and the repercussions of such a worrying trend. Have a look at this question. The internet has transformed the way information is shared and consumed, but it has also created problems that did not exist before. What are the most serious problems associated with the internet and what solutions can you offer? In this kind of essay, in the second paragraph, you'll mention all the problems, and in the third paragraph, you will mention the solutions or remedies. Here is another recent question. Fewer young people play sports these days. Why is this? What can be done to encourage more young people to do sports? This question is not exactly a causes and effects kind of essay. They're asking you the reasons, but they're also asking you to give the solution. So you're not explaining the repercussions here, you're going to explain or elucidate some remedies just like the previous essay.